Theory recording? Okay. Hello YouTube, this is Carrie, and tonight I want to come to talk to you because I'm reporting to you from the other side. In all seriousness though, basically, a big event just happened that I believe can now officially make me say that for all practical purposes my transition is over with. And that big event is I officially have a stable job again. Yay! I was holding off on celebrating with this job because I did not want the same thing that happened to me in Atlantic City to happen again, where I got all excited about it and then all of a sudden found myself axed out of nowhere. Nope, not this time. As of 2 days ago, it is now official. I have cleared my 90-day probationary hire mark, and I am a permanent employee at my new job. Yay! Which, basically means that for all practical purposes, I am now done. All I have to do now is just sit back and keep working every single day, and shockingly, I'm making even more money than I made at the Horseshoe. Basically, I started out this new job as a poker host. I'm not going to say where it is this time because I don't want to jinx myself, but it is still in a casino, and when I started I was a poker host, which they make like $10 an hour plus maybe an extra $1 or $2 in tips, and I moved, the manager knew that I had dealing experience, so once the position became open, he switched me into dealing, and as of 2 weeks ago, that is exactly what I did, and the tip rate has been astronomical so far, so, at the end of all this nightmares that I've been through, all the uncertainty, all the firings, all of the times where I wondered if I was ever going to make it, dear God, I had a rough transition at some point. In the end, I arrived at a brand new job that actually pays more than the job that I was fired from in the first place. So, trans people out there, have faith. If you keep working at it and keep staying positive, eventually things do work out. And, it just feels unbelievable to be able to look at myself and actually say, yes, I made it. I can officially consider myself a success story now. I transitioned, well, see, I don't even like saying that I really transition anymore. It's kind of funny how just being out there and being full-time and just living your life, you realize that honestly not that much has changed. It's like I didn't really transition per se. I'm still exactly the same person. The only difference is I'm, in what people perceive to be a female body now instead of what people perceive to be a male body. But, in my head, nothing really changed. I'm still the same person. And, basically I'm just the same person that I knew that I always was since I was like 13 or 14 years old. So, whatever, different perspective. I'll talk about that later. This video is more just to celebrate and say that I officially have made it now, and I'm just so excited to know that within the next year I might finally be out of debt, finally done with all the college debt that I had piled onto me, possibly saving up for SRS or FFS, but I'm still kind of on the fence about whether I really want that or not. It's like, there's still times where I feel like I don't look female enough, but it's off and on. It tends to vary from day to day how I feel about my appearance. But I don't know if you noticed, but in this video I'm probably a lot calmer than I was before. In a lot of my other videos I was so nervous and uptight and worried about is my voice good enough, is my appearance good enough, am I using feminine enough mannerisms, all this stuff, and, it is a huge relief to be in a new job and accepted, and again, there comes a point where transition isn't really transition anymore, it's just called living your life. And after 3 months of working in a job, presumably stealth, again, nobody says anything, and, I'm kind of starting to take being gendered female for granted. It's like, I don't even really think about it anymore. Early in transition, every time I went out presenting as female, I was as nervous as hell. I was constantly looking around, seeing if people were staring at me, and if every single little verbal blip was them calling me sir, or whether it was man or ma'am that they were saying. And I was just caught up in all these little technicalities in my head, being afraid of them, where now it's looking back and it's like, man, I was really messed up in the head. After working as yourself for a long time, you just stop caring. And I don't even really think about being trans anymore most of the time. I just dress in the clothes that are my clothes, with the hair that's my hair, acting the way that I naturally want to act, speaking the way that I naturally want to speak, and I'm gendered female. And that's pretty much it. And it's just an expectation now. It's not something that I'm constantly worried about and hoping that people are accepting me. It's more like I expect everyone to gender me female, and if anyone would gender me male, it'd be like, what the hell are you seeing? I'm a girl, not a guy. Why are you calling me sir, you weirdo? It also makes going out with my mom and my relatives and them interesting, because they still call me by my old name by mistake, and they correct themselves and apologize, but they do still make that mistake. So, like when I was visiting my mom, and she was talking to a clerk at the checkout counter of the hotel, and she said that her son was going to be driving up, and lo and behold, a girl drives up in the car and she starts unloading it, and I just looked over at the hotel clerks, and they were like looking back and forth with each other, and they actually like came around and they were like inspecting me, trying to figure out what was going on. So, and Mom apologized for that later. So it's kind of funny, again, you know, early in transition, it is going to be a battle, and it was a battle for me. There's so much. If you remember my video back even in April of this year, where I was so terrified of whether women were going to accept me, whether they were going to be okay with me using their restroom, whether they were going to be okay with me presenting as female and using a female name and expecting to be accepted as such, all those fears ended up being unfounded. You know, even if people can notice that, again, if people can notice that there's something off, I bet some people can, but it's that point where they don't really care, and I don't care anymore either, you know. I'm just doing what makes me happy, so why do I even care what other people think? And it is so refreshing to get to that point of transition. Like, that is what I wanted to be at ever since I started, was just the point where I could live my life and be a girl and not even think about it anymore. It's just who I am. And I guess I can say that I'm at that point now. So, yay! And from future videos, I will have a stable job again, and I'll actually be able to talk to you as someone who is post-transition, quote, living the dream, if you want to say that. It's really not a dream, it's just life, as I said. But, you know, this is kind of the point where a lot of people delete their YouTube channels and go stealth. And I can understand why. It's because you just don't think about being trans anymore, so what more do you have to contribute? A lot of the trans videos on YouTube are for the purpose of people who were younger in transition and obsessing over, when am I going to get these changes, and am I ever going to get over the social fear, and can I do this, and jobs, and there's just so many fears early on, understandably. And that's why I got into YouTube in the first place, was because I wanted to start my own channel about working through those fears. And I myself was constantly watching other people's YouTube videos, trying to give myself hope, trying to give myself courage that yes, eventually I will get through this. And I expect to continue to do that now as somebody who has made it and plans on continuing posting videos. I am not going to go completely deep stealth and delete all of my stuff. I believe I still have a lot to say. My perspectives on being trans have changed so much since being full-time. Again, it's switched to basically where being trans is not a big deal, and also I've come to see that it's not so much a transition from male to female, it's more just a transition in people's social expectations of you. Like, I've always known that I was a girl in my head. It was just a matter of making the outside match, where I could not say that before because I was still expecting, as a young, kind of innocent-minded, young transition person, that there was going to be this magic moment where suddenly I switched from male to female, and there was going to be something that let me deserve that female title, where in reality there wasn't. Again, still the same person, so I expect to make a lot more videos about that in the future, probably once I've actually moved to the new city. Right now I am commuting to get to work 2 hours each way every single day, so you can't say that I'm not dedicated to this new job. I mean, I sacrificed so much to be able to work there, and it's such a big relief to know that I'm going to be a permanent employee and my life is back on track again. Yes! So, and, you know, to my it really bothered me when other people deleted their YouTube videos and just disappeared. It's like, you helped me so much. Like, Just Learn Girl 87, what happened to you? You know, you gave me hope when I first started transition, because you started out looking so masculine and being so nervous, just like I was. And, you know, then all of a sudden you were gone and I couldn't use your videos for inspiration anymore. So I'm not going to do that. I'm keeping all my videos up. I don't care if people see them. You know, it's an anonymous transgender section of YouTube. The odds of anybody that I work with or see on a daily basis seeing me on YouTube is like maybe 1 in 1,000 at best. So I'm willing to take that risk. And honestly, even if people do find out, I don't care. You know, I'm not deep stealth, you know. I'm stealth in that nobody asked me about being trans, but if they did confront me about it, I wouldn't mind admitting it. You know, it's really not a big deal. It's just, I'd rather not it be a pervasive part of my daily life where I wear the I am trans, accept me banner every single day, because no, I don't need to. That's one of the cool things about being trans, is that you really, a lot of us only need the support when we're first starting out. Once we've actually reached the point of transition and we're past it, we're just living our lives and nobody even notices us anymore. So yeah, I can plan on continuing to make videos. Thank you for sticking with me so long. Once again, tonight we can celebrate because I have made it, and I love you all. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and here's to more great videos in the future. Bye!